What's up? Welcome back to No Cap Wolfpack. And today we'll be talking about Anthony Edwards and all the stuff that's going on. Things have been super exciting with the Timberwolves recently. Just in terms of like all the cool and hype that Anthony Edwards is getting all over social media. Kevin Garnett, um, the Timberwolves gold is just raving about Anthony Edwards and how locked in he is. I got his highlights playing in the corner. Let's just talk about some of the stats. I also want to talk about some of the things that I was hearing too, in terms of like some of the national media heads. Um, Looking at you, Stephen A. But yeah, let's look at his progress over the years. I mean, you could just see like after this past season how dynamic he was in the playoffs, and then just knowing all the hype that he's getting for the national attention that he's getting for being on Team USA. It's just it all has amounted to this guy just ready to explode the superstardom. So his rookie year, just looking at his numbers, Anthony Edwards shot 42% from the field. His 3 point percentage was 33%, free throw 77.6%, and then rebounds he did 4.7, assists 2.9, steals 1.1, points per game 19.3, personal foul 1.8, and turnovers 2. So, and his minutes per game were 32.1, and he didn't start every game. Yeah, Anthony Edwards, he wasn't the most efficient his rookie year, but then he really progresses second year in his career. His field goal percentage jumped up a little bit to 44%. Had a 36% 3 point percentage, which was a really great sign because now it kind of is trying to light that, hey, Anthony Edwards has a little bit more to his game than just attacking to the rim. Free throw percentage was still good at 78.6. Rebounds got a little bit better with 4.8. Assists got a lot better at 3.8. I think a lot of that had to do with Ricky Rubio and what he got to learn from him. And this season, I think that he got to learn how to flourish from defense from learning from Patrick Beverly. That's just my speculation, but I feel like definitely some traits rubbed off because he got 1.5 steals per game this season, and you could kind of tell that his like safety instincts back in his football days were kind of coming out on the NBA court. Turnovers were 2.6, went up because of the usage going up, and then personal fouls was at 2.3, so not too bad. Stayed out of foul trouble more times than not. And then his points per game were 21.3. So my goodness, that shot was crazy. Um, it's kind of hard not to ignore the highlights. And then in the playoffs, this is where Anthony Edwards really jumped off the page because he progressed, but then like when the lights were on him, when the competition was the toughest, and when the games meant the most, Anthony Edwards shot 45.5% from the field, 40.4% from three, and his free throw percentage went to 82.4. Yes, his assists and rebounds were a little bit lower, but his steals and blocks were at 1.2 apiece per game. And then he averaged 25 points per game and played 37.8 minutes per game. So, as a young, not even 21 years old, I believe at the time when he was playing this, uh, he was putting up crazy numbers, and he was good in every game. His stat lines were all good, and then in the play-in that year, he had 30 points and shot 47.6 from the field and 45.5% from three. So he went off in that play-in game as well. The one that was infamous for the championship like celebration by Pat Bev, which I thought was lit, and I was at that game, so I felt that energy. It was super dope. And then, moving forward this past season, his numbers skyrocketed. I think that he already took like a mini leap into that star, but now we're going into the next phase of him becoming a superstar. So last year he did 45.9% from the field, 36.9% from three, which was really good. Free throw percentage took a little bit of a dip at 75.6. But he got to the line, I think, a lot more this year, and he's going to start getting that whistle more and more. His rebounds went up at 5.8, got more aggressive, and was grabbing more boards. His assists, his playmaking ability was on point this year at 4.4 assists. Steals went up at 1.6, and his blocks also went up. He's at 0.7 now per game, started at 0.5, and then 0.6 his first 2 years. And then turnovers 3.3 per game, went up a little bit, but nice to clean that up. But he'll get better. But his usage is just up because of Cat being out for 52 games. I mean, it's bound to happen. Personal fouls are still low at 2.4. He averaged 24.6 points per game, and honestly, deserved to be an all-star. I was kind of surprised he wasn't an all-star from the start. They should have put him in right away, but it was nice that he got the alternate. In the playoffs is where he exploded. Playoffs, he shot 48.2% from the field. His three-point percentage was 34.9%. Yes, it took a little bit of a dip, but was still very solid. Free throw percentage, 84.6, and he got to the line a lot. He was extremely aggressive in this series against Denver. He averaged 5 rebounds per game, 5.2 assists. His playmaking was on point. His defense was even better with 1.8 steals per game and 2 blocks per game. His turnovers were low at 1.6, and his personal foul was only at 2.6. He averaged 31.6 points per game. He was an absolute menace against Denver, the NBA World Champions, as you watch the season play out. So the only catalyst for Ant out of all of these series and games, the ones that mattered, where he struggled, were the play-in. And the only reason why I put in this context out here is because I'm gonna react to this little video, this clip of Stephen A. at the end. But yeah, so play-in, he shot a terrible 30% from the field, 17.6% from 3. Free throw percentage was 75. He had 9 rebounds, and assists were 5.5. Steals were 1.5, and blocks were 2. So his playmaking and defense was on point. But his points per game were only 14, and he played a whopping 41 minutes per game, that mainly because of the overtime against the Lakers. So, I mean, yeah, playing, he was pretty bad. But as you're just watching on the screen, too, as I was talking, you could kind of see him dominating in the World Cup. So, got a lot of people talking.
He's got a bright future. He just signed a $200 million plus extension with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he absolutely positively deserves it. He's built like a man. He's got that level of athleticism. He's got that competitive fervor inside of him.
Yep, which is all true, and I appreciate that Stephen A's recognizing all that. It's very true. That dude wants to work nonstop. He even, I've heard stories that he's turned down teammates about going out and stuff. So Anthony Edwards is hungry, and he has the athletic ability, the potential to be a superstar as long as the mind and body connect on one.
And I'm rooting for him. And I think this is the thing that people should love about Anthony Edwards. He wants to ball. Mm-hmm. He wants to ball. He feels an obligation to go out there and live up to the marquee. I think the only thing he needs to worry about is developing a consistent jump shot. Mm-hmm. If he develops a consistent jump shot.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but as you kind of see the numbers, and if you actually watched Anthony Edwards progress through the last 3 seasons, his jump shot has gotten consistent. His field goal percentage and 3-point percentage reflects consistency with his jump shot. So, yes, would you like to strive to be a more consistent shooter? But shoot, at this point, Anthony Edwards' 3-point shooting, comparable to some of the greatest shooting guards of all time, he's on a more of a his potential is going to be a lot bigger in terms of his playmaking on the perimeter as a scorer than just an attacker to the rim. He has more potential to be a better shooter than Dwayne Wade. I think he could be a better shooter from outside the arc than Michael Jordan. Not saying that he's gonna be better than Michael Jordan, but these are things that Anthony Edwards has in his game, and kid's only just turned 22 years old. So let's see him develop, but consistent jump shot, okay, I feel like you're just nitpicking at this point.
Anthony Edwards is going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
That's important. I don't think it has to do with the consistent jump shot of why he's going to be a superstar. He's already kind of shown that. Actually, the reason why he's going to be a superstar is his ability to be lethal on defense and create plays that lead to the offensive end for easy buckets, because no one's going to beat him to the bucket.
In this game, he is the future of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and one of the pivotal nuggets of the future for the NBA. He's special.
Do you feel like he should be one of the faces of the NBA moving forward?
I think so. He's got to work on his jump shot. He's got to be more consistent because his playoff performance wasn't that great.
His playoff performance wasn't that great. Arguably, in the last year playoffs, other than like guys like Jokic in the series that he has played, and in terms of like one series stints, Anthony Edwards probably had the best, if not one of the best series out of all the NBA players that participated in the playoffs. His numbers were absolutely insane. From a defensive standpoint, from a playmaking standpoint, from a scoring standpoint, 31.6 points per game. His field goal percentages were 48.2%. I don't know where you're getting these numbers. If you want to talk about play-in, yeah, he wasn't that great, but he was still effective in his role as in terms of affecting the playmaking and defensive side of the ball. That's what a superstar does. They find ways to win even when something may not be clicking, whether it's the shot or what it is. But in the playoffs, dude was money.
I'm telling you right now, this brother's a stud and a star, and more importantly, he wants to challenge. He wants to be a guy that you look at as the marquee, and he's showing up. He believes in showing up. And when you have somebody like that, that is the key to stardom, Christine. You got a lot of people that don't mind taking time off these days.
Right.
This is not this guy. This guy wants it.
Yeah.
He believes he should be that guy.
Overall, Stephen A. is saying all the right things. I just feel like he missed the punch on the playoffs and consistent jump shot, which I think that he has developed the consistency on his jump shot, as well as he was excellent in the playoffs, terrible in the play-in. But overall, what Stephen A. is saying, I wholeheartedly agree with, because I think that this dude has the mental wiring to be a superstar, and he's on that path right now, and the rest of the league is just noticing. All the national media outlets are basically just noticing. There's been a few that have noticed, but now they're getting on the train. Timberwolves fans been saying it for a minute, but you know how we get. So, I don't know. This is just kind of my thoughts on the Anthony Edwards stuff, just reacted to some of the things. I probably had a couple of the tweets going on, and I just think it's an exciting time to be a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. And for a long, long time, it wasn't always that exciting, but this kid is the messiah of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I am just excited to see where the season goes and where he takes us in terms of winning, because that's what his determination is leading towards. So hopefully Anthony Edwards is the one to bring the next championship to Minnesota. You could always hope, but he's on the right track, and he is destined to be great because he wants to be great. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, leave a like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment of what you think too and what you're excited about. I'm excited to see Anthony Edwards in that number 5 jersey and those new jerseys that just dropped. No Cap Wolfpack, we'll be back. This won't be a one-time video like I did last year, but if you want to watch my last video reacting to the Rudy Gobert trade, hey, why not? Check it out. I was probably overly optimistic, and you know what? I'm overall hindsight 2020 excited about that trade. Let's go Wolves. Wolves back. You know how it goes.